Sweep the league TV and beyond the game. Rudy and the crew, you already know the name. From football, basketball, man, we cover it all. Sports fans rise up, yeah, we answer the call. Sweep the league TV and beyond the game. Rudy and the crew, you already know the name. From football, basketball, man, we cover it all. Sports fans rise up, yeah, we answer the call. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Sweep the League here, Rudy Campos Jr. On a rare night, I guess, with everything that's been going on. So we're, like I told y'all guys a week before, we are in the process of getting a lot of things going, and we got different things coming on. I've got a lot going on, so trying to join y'all as much as possible. We're waiting for Coach Gio to join in tonight. He's going to be talking to you guys about NFL football that's come up. He's going to be talking about NCAA football. Of course, grading the market, Eric and Anthony doing a fantastic job. We've got the Plead the Sith's own Sith Elias here, says Rudy, yes. Got an announcement to make later on, so I didn't want to tease it on Twitter. Don't want people going to it and, starting to basically try to do their own thing and, steal stuff and shit like that. So don't want to make that kind of announcement, on social media. If you really want to know, you'll join us here on Sweep the League. Shout out to MCS's own Chris Leha. Yo, what's good? We're going to talk some NFL, man. We're going to talk some college football tonight. Get you guys ready for the football weekend ahead. Again, Coach Gio is going to be joining us here, hopefully in a little bit. As you can tell by the hat, MCS General Contracting, these proud sponsors of Sweep the League, of Plead the Sith, of Grading the Market. Also, shout out to Chunky Flamingo Apparel, proud sponsors of Grading the Market, as well as Sweep the League Network, to include everybody here. But yeah, shout out to Leha, man. Appreciate you guys joining in here. He says once his work schedule clears up, he'll be back, fellas. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with podcasting, with doing shows. We live normal lives, man. We're not big time celebrities. We're not, we're not basically, getting paid to do this or anything like that. This isn't our 9 to 5, anything like that. We all have normal lives. We have hectic lives. We have stuff that comes up. We've got families. So yeah, once everything clears up with the schedules, once I get a schedule going, I'll be sure to let everybody know. But as of right now, I appreciate everybody joining in, man. Yeah, it says, what's up, family? What is up? Jacob Eric, Grading the Market. Locked On Spurs, feels like forever since you've been on. Yeah, it feels like it's been forever. It's actually been a week, I think, since I've been on. So glad to be back. We'll be back here from time to time. Like I said, let's get it. Also, I'm sure the Chaos Lords aren't going to be happy with your choice of lineup. So I'll talk about that. We'll give, we'll definitely get into that here. And says Rudy and I were trying to link up for lunch for about 5 weeks. Yeah, I mean, it seems like we're scheduled to go to lunch. Something happens, something comes up. But you know what, man? That's life. Life happens. We'll get to lunch here sooner or later. I'm gonna say week number 6, which is next week. We're gonna make it happen, Leha. We're gonna link up and get some stuff worked out here. So we'll definitely meet up there. We'll post a picture so that everybody knows that it really did happen. We'll post it on X so they know, hey, yeah, they did end up meeting for lunch there. But the Chaos League, you know what? Before Gio gets in here, I'll bring that up, man. I want to show this because our boy over at Plead the Sith, he is down bad. And when I say down bad, he hasn't had a win all year. So I went ahead and said, you know what? I'm going to give him a win. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the monitor for everybody to see here. So shout out to Sith, man. I'm going to show everybody right now the monitor here. My lineup going into this weekend is exactly, yeah, he says I need a dub. Yeah, I'm going to give you the dub, man. Now, if you lose this is your doing here, but let me bring on the man, the myth, the legend himself. It's going to be Coach Gio. coaches in here, but before I get to you, man, I want you to see something here. So I'm in the Chaos League, Gio, and the Chaos League week 1 was like random teams get 100 points added to their score. Week 2 was like, a quarterback league. If your quarterback is the highest scoring quarterback between the matchup, they get the win. You get the win. I think last week was kickers get an extra 25 points if they're the best kicker in the matchup, whatever, stuff like that. Well, I'm playing Sith this week. He's 0-3. He's made more roster moves than he's changed his underwear. I mean, he makes like tons of roster moves. So I told him, you know what? I'm going to give you a win. My lineup is set, Gio. I don't have anybody playing this week. My entire team's on a bye. So the only way he can lose is if he gets negative points. Does that make me a good guy to give a win, to give a charity win that could possibly be his only win? Now, this is a free league, so, I mean, I'm not worried about it, but to give a charity league, which could only be his only win throughout the year. I mean, am I a good guy for it?
I guess. I mean, to literally sit
Like,
here,
no mercy.
It sounds like collusion here.
Well,
This
if
may be
it's collusion,
collusion.
if he's got a winning record, it'd be collusion. He hasn't won a game. And you know what? He's probably not going to win a game. Everybody he has is injured.
But you're kind of working together, Rudy, in a sense.
He didn't know I was doing this. I did this on my own free will.
That's
I
not what the
did
other
this.
players might think.
Well, it's a chaos league, so I really don't care what they think, to be honest with you. It's my decision.
So it sounds like the premise is just chaos. So
It's
I
chaos.
guess whatever goes. That's a very interesting. Are there certain or is there certain settings that you could just kind of flip on for chaos?
So check this out. The defense scores the most points weekly. Like my Broncos defense is expected to get 180 points. Quarterbacks are the second highest scoring players. Actually, no, kickers are. Kickers are the second highest scoring players. So my draft went Broncos first round, Brandon Aubrey the second round. That was my first 2 picks. And I came back with Jalen Hurts. Those 3 positions are the ones that score the absolute most points in the league. So I got those 3.
Well, it definitely sounds like chaos. So I guess in this sense, anything goes.
Well, and check this out. So when I drafted Brandon Aubrey, the top 3 teams from last year, once the draft was over, had the option to steal a player from another team. So another guy on the league took Brandon Aubrey from me and gave me Chris Boswell. So I basically created a Brandon Aubrey voodoo doll, and I stuck pins all over him. So I'm hoping, Brandon Aubrey can, bite the big one, and he's done for the year. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I mean, there might be more of this. I feel like the last 10 years have just kind of not done as many fantasy. This year is actually the first year I haven't done any fantasy leagues. So
I was wondering if you were going to be in any fantasy leagues this year.
I don't know what happened, but the last 5 years, it's just, I don't know. It just haven't been as interesting. Well, I've had leagues or I've been in leagues, but the interest is just kind of dwindled. Well, but I'm still watching football. But I mean,
I'm not watching football, man. Leha says he's going to give him the win, so I think so. Leha's a commissioner. And, yeah. So I could literally get 0 points, and like he said, now the commissioner's going to find a way to cook us. So I could end up winning this week somehow. I have no idea, but as of right now, that's the lineup I'm going with.
Yeah, no, it's definitely chaos. That I would agree with.
Oh, it's big time chaos, man. So it's been a while since we back on, and all of our schedules are hectic. Plating the Sith, Sith's got a very hectic schedule. Grading the Market, they're on from time to time as well. They've got busy schedules. I've got busy schedules. You got busy schedules, but I got an announcement later to make, so we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Nice show announcement here that we're going to be doing, but college football, Gio. Let's dive right into it. The biggest news this week is obviously OSU, Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy couldn't evolve with NIL, couldn't evolve with the transfer portal. We're seeing these older coaches that were successful in the past not able to be successful now with all these rule changes. So Gundy's out. Now, some of the names being thrown out there. Zach Robinson was one of them being named thrown out there. GJ Klein from Texas State's own is being thrown out there. One that hasn't been mentioned just yet from a lot of local people in Oklahoma, but is getting mentioned around the state of Texas, is San Antonio UTSA's own Jeff Traylor. Let's remind people, a year ago, you said Oklahoma State would probably get rid of Mike Gundy if they didn't succeed, if they had some struggles. And you recommended Jeff Traylor as the Oklahoma State head coach. How that is coming to fruition, Gio.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I'm surprised Mike Gundy made it this season, Rudy. I thought he was going to get fired last year.
Yeah, he should have been.
And look, when you're looking at him, he just doesn't look like himself. I mean, Rudy, we could remember years ago, you know, he had that line, I'm a man, I'm 40, right? Like, that's such a long time ago that Mike Gundy. Rudy, there's pros and cons to the NIL. Some teams got really good and some teams got worse.
Yeah.
It's kind of the flip side. You see Indiana, right? They've been bad historically, but you know they have the brand, they have money, they just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And we could probably talk about them later on. Yeah, Mike Gundy out at Oklahoma State. Not surprised by this. He just kind of didn't keep up with the times. But Jeff, I mean, really, I really think Traylor is potentially the right fit here. He should have left, right? And I know me and you went back and forth on this a few years ago. I was like, no, you know, but the NIL basically has kind of, I mean, UTSA is, they're trending more down than up. Like,
yeah,
it's just one of those things where the NIL, it's either helping you or it's killing you. In this sense, it's going to be killing, I think, UTSA. Yeah. But I think the opportunity for Traylor to jump ship, I definitely would. Now, is Stillwater, you know, the Mac Daddy of them all? No, it's not. But it's a brand. It's in the Big 12. And there's a lot of opportunities for growth. Rudy, we see in an offseason, we see teams change. Why not Oklahoma State?
It needs to happen. I mean, Jeff from Locked On Spurs, Jeff Garcia zone says should Traylor leave? Feels like the time is right for his career. So I think in our chat we talked, and even on the show Sweeps 2 years back, we said that was probably his prime position to go. When Frank Harris was already done and he had graduated, you started to see a lot of players hit that transfer portal. And that should have already told Jeff, hey, I can't compete with NIL. I still got some great players here. But when you're talking about trying to compete for those bigger bowl games, trying to get into the Final 12 or whatever for CFP, I'm not going to have those teams anymore like I did. So 2 years ago was when we talked about he needs to start looking at other jobs. We were talking was Notre Dame or Penn State available 2 years ago? I couldn't remember offhand if it was. He wouldn't have got those jobs.
No, I mean, and I would have to go look. Well, I mean, there's a ton of jobs. It feels like every year someone's getting fired.
Yeah.
But, you know, could he have gotten the Purdue job? You know, they were terrible last season. That's possible, but I don't know if his ties, you know, obviously to Texas and the surrounding area would probably work as best in West Lafayette, Indiana. But really, I think now's the time. The opportunity could come. I know Dana Holgorsen is another candidate that I saw urge. I'm like, well, Holgorsen's been around.
Yeah. Maybe
you have the offensive coordinator from Oregon. I forgot his name, but he's been in talk. So, you know, we'll see, Rudy. I do think there's something here. Now, are the boosters behind that next coach? Rudy, you got to have the resources, Rudy. You got to have it. And for whatever reason, Gundy never really showed like he really cared about NIL, even though they had a ton of transfers, but just never seemed to work out. And sometimes, Rudy, you're welcome, and it was about time.
Yeah, it was about time. We also saw UCLA's coaching vacancy come up as well. And I think, you know, Derek talked about him going to the West Coast. But I think we were talking more about USC. But with Lincoln Riley, I mean, USC's playing, good ball now. So it's like, okay, that's kind of out of the picture. But with UCLA, again, a program that is a historic program, but it just doesn't seem right for maybe a Jeff Traylor to take over because it, like you mentioned with UTSA, it's trending downwards, and that's what UCLA is doing. It's trending downwards, and it's tough.
They don't have. I mean, they have money. Don't get me wrong. They have boosters, but I don't think the boosters are very interested in football. Now they did get Nico for a lot of money, but Rudy,
that's not panning out very well.
That's not panning out very well, and I don't know if you saw the picture of the stadium. No one's going to these games, Rudy. They also need to get a stadium. Dude, stop playing in that venue. It's just too big, and it makes it look like you have nobody in the stands.
Yeah.
So for UCLA, again, you have the brand, you have the Big Ten, but to me, Rudy, the teams who went to the who left the Pac-12, that was the one that I was probably a little slightly concerned, just because over the last decade they've had some decent teams, but no one's going to these games, and it's not the UCLA of old. Rudy, look, I'll say this though. Why not UCLA? And I keep bringing up Indiana, but look what they've done, Rudy.
Yeah.
If you're in the NIL, you have that brand. You have the Big Ten behind them. Rudy, they have still an opportunity, even though no one's watching these games because, it's in a very, very affluent area, and people just are not always concerned with football. But if you bring a winner, just like the Rams, you're going to put butts in the seats there in general in that area. But as of right now, Rudy, it's terrible. No one's watching these games. And for them to lose, I knew they were in trouble when they lost to Hawaii week 1. I said, this is going to be a long season, a very long season. And he got fired.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he got fired.
And but Rudy, he probably had no business being the head coach.
No. That's what I'm saying. No, definitely not. And I think that's kind of what we're going towards, is like the older heads, the older guys are not meant and not cut out for. It's like me. I mean, I grew up in a great era of, time and life. I'm not cut out for the new generation, and I can admit that. Similar to coaching. I mean, could you imagine Jerry Sloan coaching these NBA players? It wouldn't work.
No, and one more team, Rudy, I think Jeff should definitely, if possible, it might be a little tough, but I think Arkansas, they got players there.
Dude, yeah. Arkansas,
Sam Pittman he's been knocking on that door, but they just can't seem. I mean, they had that shootout, Rudy, against Ole Miss just a few weeks ago, and just blown coverages all over the place.
Yeah.
Watch out for Arkansas. I think that's a giant there. I mean, crap, they got Jerry Jones, right? Like, he's probably a huge booster. They got money in Arkansas. That to me is a sleeping giant, Rudy. They got players. They got that quarterback. I think his last name is Green. Is it Trent? No, is it Trent Green? No, it was.
No, I can't remember offhand.
Yeah, but they have athletes there, Rudy. They got talent. They have a huge defensive line. I honestly think Arkansas could be probably a better job than Oklahoma State.
Tons of schools, man. Tons of schools. And we think Traylor, I think
Taylor Green.
Taylor Green. Okay.
Yeah.
I think consciously, and we can honestly say Jeff's not going to be there very much longer. There's going to be a job opening up. And if you look at Oklahoma State with Jeff Traylor, he's got the Texas ties. He can recruit up that whole pipeline and all the way up to Oklahoma. He can definitely go into SEC country, and he can get some players there as well. Really good guy, a player's coach, a hard-nosed coach, respected coach. I think Traylor at Oklahoma State would be an amazing fit. I really like GJ Klein. I think he's going to get if it's between them two, I want to say Klein gets it a little bit more over than Traylor does, because Klein has built Incarnate. He's done wonders in Incarnate Word. You see him doing it with Texas State. I think he's that sexy pick when it comes to coaching right now. but Trailer's going to get a job regardless. And I kind of teased it a little bit. I said, you know what? Maybe he's waiting for Sark. And funny because, again, the Longhorns, I really feel like Sark is on the hot seat. People don't believe me, but I'm saying Sarkisian is on the hot seat right now. They're 3-1. They haven't looked really good. Arch has looked terrible. And I don't think that if they get to a national championship title game, I don't think they're going to get it much more out of Sark. What do you think about Sark on the hot seat?
Already, whenever you're at these big programs, expectations is to me the key word here. And there's a lot of expectations with him. Also, a lot of expectations at Penn State as well. Rudy, I think it's fair. Look, they still have a golden opportunity here. It's not all over. I mean,
he's got one of the best defenses in the country.
Best defenses.
It makes
the
no
offense
sense if he can't score.
Continue to get better and better, but they got tough matchups. I know Georgia's going to be happening very, very soon. By the way, Georgia's playing Alabama this weekend. Just another week in the SEC. But everybody, he's definitely on the hot seat. I think expectations. That's the only thing I can say. When you have those high expectations, you got to win. And they haven't won a national championship since
Vince Young.
So
I mean, Jesus
that
Christ.
tells you
that was in
how,
my first marriage back in the day.
Yeah. I know you've been in 6, but I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm the Ross Geller of marriages, right?
But Sark should be on the hot seat. And if Kirby was doing the same thing, Kirby would be on the hot seat as well. Though Kirby does have 2 championships, so obviously he's have a ton of room for, slipping up.
Well, let me paint this picture before we go to our AP top 25 poll and stuff. Here's Texas's next 2 games. Can you legitimately see them 3-3 after these 2 games? They go to Florida, then they play Oklahoma.
Rudy, Florida's a mess. I mean, I will say their defense has kept them in most of their games. Offensively, DJ Langway to me has been a big disappointment, Rudy. Rudy, we talked about before the season. I thought Florida would be a huge surprise team. And DJ, the year he had last year, I know he got hurt, but Rudy, talk about a disappointment. Now, Oklahoma, Rudy, their quarterback,
Midier,
is he gonna be out?
I think he's gonna be out, but I think he might be back for that game, if I'm not mistaken.
If he's out, Texas is gonna win those 2 games. I'll say this though. It's tough to win. It's tough to win at the Swamp, and it's gonna be loud, it's gonna be crazy. Listen, it's SEC football, Rudy. So every week, we just saw Vandy last season, right?
Yeah.
We saw Arkansas this year go wire to wire with Ole Miss. So every week is completely different. But I expect Texas to win these next 2 games. And then watch out for Kentucky. Listen, Kentucky's one of those teams.
you always talk about Kentucky.
Because really,
it's true.
I went there last season. And my God, was it 14-13? This close at Kentucky. That's a tough matchup. I'm telling you right now, these weird SEC games, Texas might go win those 2 games and then go on the road to Kentucky and just lose. It's very possible.
We got to thank Coach Trailer and give him his flowers if he decides to leave. I don't think there's any hard feelings if he leaves. I mean, he did a fantastic job at UTSA, but got to move on, man. If you're stuck in the same position like that and you've got teams calling you, you got to move on. There's no doubt about that. Longhorns ain't S, according to Leha. I'm starting to feel like that because if you look at the last 4 games of the season, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Arkansas, Texas A&M, that could potentially be a 4-game skid at the end of the year. The potential is really good to see a 4-game skid at the end of the year. And that's what I'm saying. Sark is on the hot seat. He's got to be on the hot seat. This schedule is no joke.
Well, Rudy,
no joke.
I told Texas fans and Oklahoma fans, hey, you come to the SEC, Rudy, listen, every week there's going to be a dogfight. Yeah, you might blow someone out late. You might pull away. But in general, this ain't no Big 12, Rudy. Like, yeah, sometimes these teams don't play any, not great defense. But in general, this ain't Big 12. This ain't UCF or, our preseason Big 12 pick, Kansas State. Jeez. But We talked about Kansas State. We said we can literally see like 5 teams winning the Big 12.
Well, I had Texas Tech and Baylor as the top 2.
True. Yeah, and Texas Tech, to your defense.
Yeah, I mean Texas Tech's been balling lately, man.
Do you think they're for real?
They're for real in the Big 12. Yeah.
All right. Well,
they're for real in the Big 12. I think that's what I see for that. I think they can make some noise, but I don't know if they can go as far as maybe if they get a win in the first round. I think that's a good season. But I like Baylor. I mean, Baylor, you know, I think they're the second best team in the Big 12. So that's my thoughts on the Big 12 right there. Are there reasons for Traylor to stay at UTSA? I mean, the relationships that he has with the players there, the relationship he has with the school. I mean, he's done a really good job with the school. The guy's probably the best coach that UTSA has had football program wise. I know they started with Larry Coker. You know, they got a couple of guys there already, but Traylor's the best coach that UTSA has had. So I'm going to say there's reasons to stay, but there's more reasons for him to go.
There's no reason to stay.
Well, no. I mean, other than the ties to the players, you recruited players there. They want to go play for you, yada, yada, yada. I can see the personal ties, but that doesn't outweigh the ties of going to a bigger school or another school. I mean, could you imagine, you know, you talk about Curt Cignetti all the time with Indiana. I mean, Jeff taking over a program similar to Indiana. I mean, he shows what he can do with an explosive quarterback. He shows what he can do with an explosive offense. He's shown what he can do with a defense. I mean, that's where I'm thinking, you know, not going to Indiana, obviously, but a team like Indiana, Traylor would fit in easily.
We talk about, and I remember it seemed like it was just yesterday, and I talked about Indiana and Curt Cignetti, and I know you and Derek are like, well, yeah, you know, maybe. I said, Indiana's a sleeping giant. And to me, Oklahoma State, potentially a sleeping giant, Arkansas, UCLA, some of these teams, Rudy, who have kind of struggled big time with NIL because sometimes money just doesn't find its way to your football program.
Yeah.
I think Jeff could get that, but man, what Indiana did last week, Rudy, I mean, I watched most of that game, and it was just Illinois was ranked 9th in the country. And I know rankings a lot of times don't really mean anything, but 9th in the country, Rudy, 63 points.
Yeah, but that was Illinois should not have been a top 10. There's no way. The only reason why Illinois was top 10 was because they brought like every starter back from last year. That's it. There's no reason why Illinois should have been top 10.
Mendoza, Surratt, that defense, Rudy. I think I'm telling you right now, Indiana in the next few years, if they continue this, I'm not saying they're going to win the Big Ten this season because I think it's going to be. They still got some tough matchups. They got Penn State, but they have if they play like that against Penn State, I mean, if they play like against anyone, they're going to win, obviously. But man, what 63 points or whatever it was, Rudy?
Yeah, it was 63-0.
And I think it was like, I think they kicked they may have scored a field goal or something.
They didn't score double digits. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. Really, it felt like it was like an FCS school or like, no disrespect, like an Alabama State or some. It didn't even look like they deserved to be on the field. And that's a Brett Bielema team. It was a very physical style of offense. But Mendoza, the transfer from Cal last season, Rudy, we talked about him in the offseason. I thought it was a big pickup. This team, Rudy, and this is my last point, Indiana, they might actually be better than last season.
I will not argue that fact. Mendoza has been so everybody knows I do a lot of NFL scouting for the NFL draft coming up. And to be honest, I've actually got Mendoza second round, squeezing into that first round right now, the way he's been playing. I mean, honestly, Gio, I have him above a lot of guys already. I mean, I would probably put him ahead of Drew Allard, honestly.
Oh
I
yeah,
kind of have
no,
him ahead of who was another guy that I have him. I mean, I have him ahead of a bunch of people. I think I even have him ahead of Newsmeyer out of LSU.
well, he hasn't thrown an interception all season,
Yeah,
and you know the receiving core of Cooper, and I love Elijah Sarad. He's been uh, the transfer. I think 2 years ago from James Madison.
yeah.
Really, it's just been crazy. Indiana. Someone made a comment. This is a football school now. And honestly speaking, if they continue this the next 3 or 4 years, Indiana's had their troubles with that basketball program.
It'll
This
get
might
built.
turn into eventually to a football school. Honestly, those games, the ticket prices already have skyrocketed.
I can't even imagine, man. But Indiana, ranking wise, they are all the way up to number 11. I think they're going to go up even farther. I mean, let's call it like it is, man. Indiana, for me, I talked about A&M last week. I think A&M is a true contender this year. They've looked amazing. They've looked stat this season. They are surprising the hell out of me out of the SEC. I did not expect it from A&M. Hoping they do continue. If Trader leaves, it is a massive hit to UTSA football. It's a brutal hit to UTSA football, but they will be able to rebuild with another coach. A bigger school would help Trailer recruiting, which is always good. Yeah, that's always good to help recruiting, when it comes to like Jeff Trailer. But if you look at the top 10, Gio, is there a team in that top 10 that you say, you know what, you don't really belong there? And I've got one that's going to piss people off. It's at number 10. I don't even think the Longhorns are a top 10 team this year. And before you make your point, Lehigh has been giving me shit about this all week and for a while. My Clemson national championship pick. I'm not the only one to make the national championship pick for Clemson, but let me tell you why I had Clemson going in. With Clemson, you had what? 3 guys that were, well, honestly, you had what? 3 guys that are potential top 15 picks in the NFL draft. You've got Cade Klubnik, who, could be coming out if he does. But even at that, forget him being a draft pick. You've got Peter Woods and you got TJ Parker, potentially 2 top 5, maybe top 6 picks in the NFL draft, playing defense for Clemson. You've got who's the receiver there? Is it Antonio Williams, another guy that could slide in that second round, maybe third round. You've got a loaded Clemson team. I did not see this coming at all. I mean, this is the biggest blindside barn burner slap to the face that I've ever had covering college football, man.
Rudy, Georgia Tech, and we've talked about Georgia Tech, and we know that's a tough team, and they'll fight you tooth and nails. Georgia is going to have to deal with them at the Mercedes-Benz at the end of the year. That's going to be, I think, a very good matchup. But Dabo, man, it's just something's missing. I don't see that edge from Clemson.
Do you think he's got the same fate as Mike Gundy?
If it continues, he
doesn't believe in NIL and all that.
But to be fair, Clemson has been they've been better than Oklahoma State. But really, I go back to that word. What did I say earlier? Expectations.
Yeah.
And that to me is the big part of this. Obviously, Mike Gundy, I didn't expect anything from him, and he pretty much left. But from Clemson, it is a huge disappointment. Rudy, do you think they can rally the ship and
they
go
have
on
to go undefeated to even? They have to win the ACC title game to get in. I mean, to even be considered anything, they've got to win out, and they've got to win the ACC title game in order to get any type of position in that college football playoff. That is the only way Clemson can do it. But when you are a stacked Clemson team, tell me if I'm wrong, Gio. If you are the most talented Clemson team that Dabo's had in a while, how can this struggle be going on? I see no reason for the struggle other than the fact that could the problem be Dabo?
Sometimes as a coach, Rudy, you got to look yourself in the mirror, right? And we all have to do that as a society, just in general. But Rudy, you got to look at himself in the mirror. What's going on, Rudy? I mean, they just have been coming out flat to lose to Syracuse the way they did. And I didn't get a chance to watch that game entirely, but they look
Syracuse
flat.
was on fire.
Syracuse, I
Both sides of
mean,
the ball.
it was watching the highlights, Rudy. It felt like Clemson was just waving that white flag. And it was just, dude, just get me out of here. And that's what it felt like. But kudos to Fran Brown over there at Syracuse. He was at Georgia, Rudy. I believe he was the DB coach. So he when you hear him talk, there's that, you can hear some of that Georgia in the background there. He's a very intense coach, and he has them headed in the great direction. And Syracuse had a good year last season anyway. So that was going to be a pushover game. It did mess up my parlay, of course, and many others.
Yeah, so I mean, Lay has, we remember the Titans, and of course, I've got to definitely remember Clemson. And that's gonna be a running joke all year. Sith is in here, says Marvin Harrison juggled and had the ball intercepted right now. He is a sellout, man. Yeah, dude. I benched Marvin Harrison right before this game started. I need to find someone to trade him with in the other league that I've got him in. Marvin Harrison has been bad, but on the college level, man, I mean, I think Texas at 10, people are gonna hate it, but there hasn't been anything to show me that Texas is a top 10 team, other than beating the usual suspects. I mean, resume wise, I think Indiana deserves to be in the top 10. Texas Tech should be in the top 10, possibly. I mean, they should be ahead of Texas, I would think.
Indiana, Rudy, it's funny, their first game, I think they played against Old Dominion, didn't look very well, by the way. No. But also, Old Dominion beat the living daylights out of Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Old Dominion, I actually watched that game, and Indiana struggled against a team that is obviously nowhere near that magnitude. But as of right now, what does the eye test tell you? Indiana should be ahead of Texas. But to be fair, Rudy, they did lose a very close game to Ohio State. I mean, it was 14-7. So that's the number one team in the country. So right now, I think it's just so early to tell. Is Oregon that good? I don't know. I really don't know about Oregon. I know last season with Dylan Gabriel just kind of ran out of gas. I like Dan Lanning a lot. He is kind of a trash talker there. But really, I don't know if Oregon's that good. And honestly, LSU, they're good. Don't get me wrong.
But when I watched them,
when I watched them against Florida, it was all right. I mean, it was a very close game, but I didn't see number 4 team in the country.
Honestly, one team that I look at, are we waiting for the wheels to fall off on the Hurricanes?
Look, Carson Beck is playing out of his mind, Rudy.
He is.
I mean, he's playing consistent. I know the Florida game was fairly close, but just in general, this season, Carson's been playing well, not turning the ball over a whole lot.
But it just feels like you're going to get old Carson Beck at some point.
And I told you a few years ago, right? I said, I don't know about him.
Yeah.
I really don't know about him. So, we'll definitely see. I know the Dogs are at number 5.
And you didn't believe me when I said I liked Georgia this year. I said I liked Georgia this year at the SEC.
You did. I mean, look, that was a tough matchup. Tennessee is probably better than what we thought they would be.
Yeah.
And it was Tennessee should have won, Rudy. It was such a fluky game a few weeks ago. A missed kick.
Yeah.
And then they go win in overtime. But Georgia's there. And I mean, listen, I love my team. Do I think they're going to win it all? I just don't think they're going to win it all this season. But we'll see. I mean, in the playoffs last year, they drew Notre Dame and Gunnar Stockton just. But Rudy, that throw, I don't know if you saw it on 4th down.
Yeah.
that throw Gunnar Stockton made was unbelievable.
It was.
It was a
pretty
fourth
damn
down
good.
for the entire for the game, and he made that throw. I said, okay, he's showing me something here. So Gunnar, he's giving me slight vibes of Stetson Bennett. It's so kind of eerie to see. But hey, time will tell, and it's still early, man. This will shake up in the next few months. Rudy, Notre Dame, 1-2, ranked in the top 25. I get it though.
They lost to two really good teams to start the season. I question the Notre Dame one, but again, they've had a brutal first three games of the season, so I totally get it. I understand that. I want to get one team with you real quick here, and then we'll move on to some NFL to close out the show here. And then we got that little show announcement at the end. How is this Lane Kiffin's year with Ole Miss? I can't get a read on Ole Miss. I like them, but why is it in the back of my mind like this isn't going to be a good year for them still? I don't believe the 4-0 start to the season. I still feel like there's something we're overlooking for Ole Miss.
Yeah, I can't put a read of them as well. I mean, listen, it's a good team, good program right now, and they're playing good football. But really, they'll also go on the road at Kentucky last season and lose a game they shouldn't have. They always lose a game they shouldn't be losing, and I honestly think that's going to happen. Another quarterback got out, and then the backup came and actually played pretty well. I don't know about them. And Rudy Vanderbilt is a very interesting team because I've been seeing a lot of hype for them lately, and I love it. It's good to see other teams besides Alabama and Georgia being on top, but the SEC is stacked. Rudy, I mean, when it's all said and done, you think Ole Miss is in the playoffs?
My heart tells me no. Yeah. Like it just, I don't know, and I'm gonna be real, man. I want to be wrong about that. I like Ole Miss. I mean, I think Lane Kiffin, he's a college coach. He's meant to be a college coach. I think I'd like to see Ole Miss succeed, but a big part of me tells me no, that we're not going to see him.
Do you think Lane do you think he's reached the peak with Ole Miss? Like, do you think he can only take them so far that if Florida comes knocking and throws him a bunch of money, could you see him leave to Gainesville? Because I actually do. If they throw a lot of money at him, I definitely see him leaving.
Gainesville, yeah. I mean, if you're talking Gainesville, Bama, I think one of those schools, yeah. I think he goes, obviously.
And it's not knock on Ole Miss. I just think the money they have, all that stuff, and they have it too, but only to a certain extent. You're talking about Florida. You're talking about, of course, Alabama. I just don't see Ole Miss at that peak. I thought the last few years that they were really good, Rudy. I thought they would make the playoffs last year. Was the odd team out. I think it could be it's weird. I think it could be his last season. I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you think this could be his last season?
Yeah, I'm just getting a feel that someone, Rudy, would throw a bunch of money at him. He's a good coach. Is he going to stay long? No. But, Rudy, he's going to leave Ole Miss better than when he left it.
That is true. That is true. And I can kind of agree with you on that. I think if one of those bigger schools is going to be calling probably him later on this year, he may end up taking that job. But then again, I mean, if Ole Miss does make it to the CFP, maybe that's enough for him to stay. Maybe he likes what he's got there. I don't. It's going to be weird to see how the SEC plays out. It's going to be really weird.
It's going to be. I mean, look at the number of teams, Rudy. You have LSU, Georgia, Texas,
A&M.
Obviously, Ole Miss is right there. Tennessee, Alabama, Vanderbilt, and even Missouri. It's just.
You got what? Wait, did we mention A&M?
Yeah, M&M. South Carolina is, I believe, outside. They started there, but
Auburn, Mississippi State that are still competitive. I mean, it goes on and on. So yeah, that SEC is, there's no telling is how it's going to end up at the end of the year, man. It says that Ole Miss schedule. Sheesh. And that's what we're saying. It's like I wonder if we're gonna see it kind of collapse a little bit, but we're waiting. We're waiting because it's SEC football, and that's the way it's played out. It's Coach Gio. It's Rudy Campos Jr. We're gonna get into some NFL talk now. I'm gonna show the NFL power rankings, Gio. See what your take on the NFL power rankings going into week 4 here, and how good is it gonna be, man? Because your Rams on the power rankings are number 12, which I don't buy. I mean, they lost to the Eagles, but I mean, I still call it a fluke. 2 blocked field goals. It was a fluke. I've been saying the top 2 teams in the NFL this year are the Eagles and Rams. That's it. I don't buy any AFC team right now. I like the Eagles. I like the Rams. I still have the Rams win the Super Bowl. A healthy Rams team, I think, is going to be dominant throughout the season. So losing to the Eagles, no big deal. I'm not even worried about that. But I mean, if you look at everybody else, I can't understand how they still, and these power rankings, these are NFL Fox power rankings. How do you still have a 1-2 Kansas City Chiefs team at 3? I mean, eventually you've got to bail on the Mahomes hype. He's not Tom Brady. He's not going to be able to take, beaten down teams to Super Bowls. And that's where I think, okay, they shouldn't be 3. They are not the second best team in the AFC. No way. I have the Chargers ahead of them. I have the Bills ahead of them. I mean, I don't know. Ranking wise on their NFL Fox, what do you got as far as this goes for rankings?
So, are the Colts 29th?
That's what it's saying.
Is this the most updated, Rudy?
It's September.
Wow. Is it?
Oh, you know what? No, take it back. I'm going to get you the most updated ones.
Yeah, because it felt a little odd to me that the Colts were all the way at 20.
We will use, well, I don't even want to use that one. Week 4 power rankings. They still got, there we go. Okay. There we go. My mistake on that. But Kansas City
is still top 5.
I mean, 1-2 Kansas City team.
Yeah, they have not looked themselves. Giants are a tough defense. The Giants have a really good front, and I like what they're doing there. But no, I mean it's not even a. Hold on 1 second here. Yeah, no, that's not right, Rudy. That's completely terrible. And the Rams at 10. I think the Rams are better than the Commanders.
Way better. They're way better than any NFC team other than the Eagles just because they lost, just by elimination. That's it.
I mean, the Lions they looked better. I mean, their defense is seemed to be obviously some issues there. The Chargers, Rudy, I mean, they've just been consistent. I can't deny it. We joke about their offense being 3 yards in a cloud of dust last season, but they're a better team.
Herbert has to be MVP, top 2 right now.
And Tampa, who has the Eagles number, we're going to see this week what Tampa does against the Eagles. Tampa just matches up well. They seem to have the Eagles number for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Rudy, I thought Caleb Williams had a really good game.
It was against a terrible Cowboy team, but yeah, he had a good game. I'm going to throw that in there.
I mean, he slung it around. He looked comfortable. Dallas, to me, the fact that Jerry Jones said at the end of that game that we're a playoff team, I'm so glad I'm not a Cowboy fan, Rudy, because if I'm a Cowboy fan and I hear Jerry say, "Oh yeah, we got a good team. Yeah, we're a playoff team." Are you serious, Jerry?
Well, they are technically just 1 game ahead of the Giants, who I had the Giants being better than them in the division. And, again, the Giants, the Cowboys made Russell Wilson look like the second coming of Dan Marino. I mean, he was just slinging it everywhere.
Brody, it's
Cowboys are terrible.
I mean, we talked about it, they'll be able to normally score points, but they're not going to be able to defend.
They can't defend.
They didn't
And
address that, and their defense was already terrible last season.
CeeDee Lamb is out for what, 4 to 6 weeks now?
That ankle didn't look very good.
Nope.
I told you again. I said this team is not going to be very. And what did you
Wait a
have them
minute.
record wise?
I said that I had them about 4 or 5 wins.
Oh yeah, I was on par with you as well. Like I didn't
4 or 5. I mean, and what's funny is I had them losing to the Giants but beating the Bears. That was just a flip flop. They should be what? I mean, they should be winless on the season.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that they've looked, and I don't think they're going to beat Green Bay this weekend. This should be a cakewalk for Green Bay. Should be. They should.
But Rudy, we know what the NFL is. We just saw the Carolina Panthers just literally.
Why do you bring up bullshit?
What was that, Rudy? That was such a. How many people had the Falcons win that game? I can only imagine what the betting line was for the Falcons. I don't even have to go look. I know everybody had the Falcons win, but this is the beauty of the NFL.
Yeah.
You never know what happens. 30-0, Rudy. And you also cut Young-Ho Koo, your kicker, and then you signed a kicker and he missed more kicks.
Parker
Rudy,
yeah.
I would love for your Falcons also to keep losing because the Rams have your first round pick next season. So
yeah.
Rudy, what's going on there, Rudy?
Coaching definitely is the biggest one. Coaching just I can't ever understand coaching. You should have moved on from Kyle Pitts a long time ago. You should have never taken Michael Penix where you did when you had Kirk Cousins. I mean, I was totally against taking Michael Penix. As much as I had him as my second best quarterback in that draft, I still wouldn't have taken Michael Penix. There was so many other glaring needs that you need. Your best player is Bijan Robinson, and you're going to run him into the ground because he's the only weapon you have on offense. It's another down year for the Falcons, and it's going to be even worse because you don't have a first-round pick. So,
yeah, Rudy, you guys, what do I always tell you? Your young quarterback, you have to give him a partnership of normally an offensive-minded head coach.
Yeah.
And I know Raheem was on the offense years ago, but he's been on defense for a while. You need to mirror those two together. Now, does it always work out? No. We see what's happening in Carolina. It's absolutely normally terrible, though. They played an outstanding game. You see when you mirror the two, normally it works. Yeah. And right now they have a defensive coach with a young quarterback, and I mean they have a good running game, but to score 0 points, Rudy, against the Carolina Panthers,
the Panthers, yeah.
It felt like a fireable offense to me. It really did.
Oh God, you would definitely hear me screaming all the way in Indiana because I'd be so happy if they fired Raheem and started fresh. You need to. You have to start. I mean, there's no doubt about that. You've got to start fresh with the Atlanta Falcons. And I love Kyle Pitts. I loved when they drafted him. I think they drafted him way too high, to be honest with you. But I get the athleticism. You know, hey, getting an athletic tight end, a player, a little bit of wide receiver, yada, yada. I understand the hype. But you should have cut him a long time ago and just cut ties with him. Said this isn't going to work out. You possibly could have even maybe salvaged a 6th-round pick, 5th-round pick for him if you traded him. So I think that's a big move they've got to consider. But outside of that, I would bench Penix the entire year and just put Cousins back in.
Really?
I mean, you're going to ruin Penix more than you're going to help him. He had a good season at the end of last year. Doesn't carry very well into the new season. I mean, you almost have to Aaron Rodgers the guys coming in just about. Gotta let him sit.
I don't know. Just leave him out there.
Oh,
Sink or swim, Rudy. I mean, you see Caleb, they threw him out there. Hey, you either make it or you don't. And at this point right now, I don't know. It's just not particularly working. They're running very well in general, but the passing game to me has been pretty much non-existent. And you're a Falcons fan. You're there. You know, you have more of a a pulse, but they haven't looked very good at the quarterback position.
Yeah, I don't like what I'm seeing at all. I think they've done pretty good as far as parts of the ball, parts of the sides of the ball. Defensively, I mean they've showed a lot of promise. Bijan's going to be the guy. I think their offensive line could use some help, but they've been playing pretty good throughout the season. It's just the quarterback play. Drake London, I mean, he's putting up stats, but when it's just Drake London and it's just Bijan Robinson, they had the most sacks for the first few weeks of the season. They were like the number one defense for the first few weeks of the season. So again, I have no idea what
they have players. I mean, you have AJ Terrell. I mean,
it's coaching. It's coaching. It's one word. It's coaching. That's all it is. That's what it comes down to. I'm going to give you props before we go here, man. Props to you on the Daniel Jones. Now, he's not lighting up the scoreboard, but I mean, leading them to an undefeated record so far, going into a pretty damn important game this weekend. I would say the Rams and the Colts this weekend must be must-watch TV, in my opinion, because I think if Daniel Jones was able to go into LA and get that win, I would start to say they're pretty elite, this team. They are, and what's like I told Derek, they're one Jonathan Taylor injury away from being average again. And that's what I think. But so far they're healthy. I kind of like them this year with Daniel Jones behind the helm.
No, Rudy, and we talked about it preseason. I said, listen, I like this team. They got pieces. You still got Quentin Nelson at guard. You got defensive pieces there. A new defensive coordinator. Rudy, Shane Steichen, the head coach, he's coaching them up. And, dude, Daniel Jones is, I mean, Rudy, he's slinging it. He's really playing well. But, Rudy, when you have a running game, those things are it covers up because you're gaining yards and gaining yards and gaining yards. And yeah, they beat Denver, which probably shouldn't have happened because, the penalty, but nonetheless, they won. And then they go play Tennessee. The Rams in the first half against Tennessee struggled a bit. Tennessee's defense up front, very physical. And the Colts just kind of had their way with them for most of the entire game. Yeah. So for the Rams coming in this game, this is going to be a tough physical game. The Colts are going to want to run the ball, establish the run. So looking at the schedule before the year, you're like, oh, yeah. No, now it's, hey, this is going to be a tough game to win. The Rams are just not going to show up and win. The Colts have fight, and, it could go down to the wire. But looking at this list, Rudy, Pittsburgh, I was high on Pittsburgh entering the year. They're okay right now. I didn't love the performance.
And just getting by.
And Aaron Rodgers blaming his, listen, I know I picked them to really have a good year, make the postseason, but dude, Aaron Rodgers is such a jerk. Dude, who cares whose fault it was? Was the receiver yours? Just fix it. Why do you always have to call players out? I don't know what's wrong. It's always a diva, man. Jeez.
You're the leader of the locker room as the quarterback. I mean, nobody wants to play for a guy like that, to be honest with you. I'll be honest with that.
I honestly wouldn't want, and I would not want to protect him either. I don't know. It's just something about his arrogance. And listen, he's good. Yeah, I get it. He can sling it. He can do all that stuff. He can run around, throw incomplete passes because he doesn't want to take risk. But I'm sorry. I'm glad I have Matthew Stafford.
Jackson Dart moved more of a locker room move. So week 1 on Twitter or X, when the Giants lost, I said, you know what? They need to go to Jackson Dart after this loss. And I had a guy push back on me saying, why don't you blame the offensive line? That Russell Wilson had to run for his life. I said, it's not so much Russell Wilson or the offensive line. You just need to make a change. It just has to be a change. You drafted Jackson Dart, just make a change. And, he pushed back. And finally I said, you know what? You don't understand the point I'm making. I'm done arguing with you. And this is the argument that I made with him. My point was this. You bench Russell Wilson. You start Jackson Dart. Just get that era going. Jackson looked really good in preseason. Jackson had a really good training camp. So there was so much question behind Brian Daboll asking, is it Jackson Dart? Is it Russell Wilson? When you have to question yourself the entire training camp, the entire preseason, I think Jackson should get the opportunity if Russ struggles out the gates, which the Giants did against Washington. Now, they don't have an elite defense. That's why I said after game 1, get Jackson Dart out there. Just let him play. See what you have in him. Oh God, you thought I was calling for, the benching of Victor Wembanyama or something by the many people that got upset on that.
Don't do that, Rudy.
Oh no, I'm not even touching that. Wait till basketball season starts, then I may touch that.
Rudy, I don't get it. You draft him early. Listen, just throw the kid out there. It's sink or swim these days, Rudy. You don't have time to wait. And, kind of similar to the Penix situation. Of course, maybe they should have set Penix a little bit longer. But at this rate, Rudy, you draft him, you got to play him. Just throw him out there. And Jackson Dart should have started day 1. What is Brian Daboll doing? Are you looking to save your job and maybe get a few wins? Dude, you're going to get fired at the end of the season anyway. So just see what you got and wish the Giants good luck and go on your way. But Jackson Dart, Rudy, should have started game 1. Well, why are you waiting? Russell Wilson, Rudy. Now, maybe it's because the Cowboys defense made him look like Rich Gannon or someone slinging him around. Which, Rudy, by the way, the Cowboys to me, they might be historically bad on defense.
Yeah, I think they really are. I think they really are.
They're going to be. Last season was. They're going to be absolutely terrible. Rudy, 1, 2, 3 Cancun, because I know a lot of those players are probably already thinking about vacation.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, no doubt about that. They're all thinking about vacation, man. I have no doubt about that. That's our football coverage for tonight. And before we go, I just wanted to give everybody a heads up on something. Not a lot of people know about this, so I'm going to make it a little clear. There's another opportunity that's going to be coming for Sweep the League, and it's going to be myself. I'm going to talk to Coach Gio. It's going to be opportunity for a lot of people here. October 5th is the date, and it's circled on my calendar. Once I can release more information, I will release more information, but October 5th is the date circled right now for a major collaboration. It's not a big collaboration somewhat, but it's a major one. So once I'm given the green light to announce more details to you guys, I definitely will out there. Will it affect Sweep the League? It will absolutely, definitely affect Sweep the League. So I'll say that much right now. Once it goes into effect and I get all the green lights and everything, right now, October 5th is that date. So we'll keep you posted on everything like that. But until then, you know what? We've got Grading the Market probably this weekend. Play This It's going to be coming back. We'll jump on Sweep the League from time to time. Agree, Coach. That D is that bad. Yeah, agree, Coach. Yeah, there's the agreement with you. The Dallas Cowboys defense is terrible.
One thing to mention, Rudy, and we'll talk later about it. The Seattle Mariners.
I was going to say, yeah.
Finally, after 24 years, finally wins the division. And getting back to the playoffs, I've been to Seattle. I've walked through those streets that they've been dying for success. And Rudy Cal Raleigh has had
60 home runs.
60 home runs. And listen, I get it. Statistically, Judge leads over Raleigh in most categories. Let's be real. But
he deserves the MVP.
Playing a catcher position, he's on the field on both sides. Judge is playing, I believe, DH most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I get baseball is an offensive sport these days, but Cal plays both sides of the plate. He's the leader, and he's been playing out of his mind. Will he hit 60 again? He probably won't ever do that in his life. It's just doesn't seem sustainable. But, 60 home runs to win the division, and finally the Mariners, they traded. They got Naylor, they got Suarez. Finally, Rudy, I've been calling, hey, trade. And those two guys have been absolutely phenomenal. On top of everybody else, the pitching is starting to heat up. So, really, October baseball, I like the NBA playoffs. I like the NFL playoffs as well. I mean, of course, it's football, but baseball playoffs to me,
It's must-see TV.
It's must-see TV. Hockey's been that way as well over the last several years, but man,
God. Yes,
baseball playoffs, I mean, it's different. So I can't wait to see. Right now, I think they're the second seed. They could have a first round bye. I might have to put rest in peace Detroit, Rudy. They're having a historical precedent collapse. But the Astros keep losing too, so we'll see who gets that last spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the Astros may squeeze in there, but I don't think so.
Those damn cockroaches, man. You can't kill them, Rudy. They'll find a way to get to the playoffs and probably ruin our lives.
Oh, yeah. So smoking those baseballs, he tied Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth has a company. So, yeah, Cal Raleigh, man. I mean, to be honest, Joe, if he may never have a season like this again, I totally understand. He's 100% the MVP. The writers need to get that right. They don't get much right in baseball, I would say, when it comes to the writers, but Cal Raleigh as the MVP this season, that is a must happen. That would, to me, would be the biggest joke if it doesn't happen for him.
And look, Joe's been playing great. I get all that, but man, the catcher position, it's the hardest position.
Yeah, I would say that too. I would guarantee, and he says he's got a couple more in him, couple more games left, so maybe he can get to 62. If we're all said and done.
Imagine the next 4 games he gets to 72. I know he won't, but
oh God, I mean, you're talking that's no. I mean, I could have probably bought it if there was another 20 games left in the season.
No. If it was 30 games left, it's very possible he could have, but no.
Yeah. Oh, the Texans are one of my top teams going into the season. I'm just saying that I can't. Again, another team I can't put my arm around. I don't know, or my finger around that team.
It's been strange. TJ Stroud, some of his body language, I don't love it. Look, you're the leader of that team, and is Joe Mixon still hurt, Rudy? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think he still is, and he is
receiving core is bad for having one of the best receiving cores in the game. They are bad right now.
They're bad right now. He's just not playing well. They're not protecting him. They just haven't been a really good football team in general. I saw, though, a video, Rudy, where someone says CJ Stroud has been had. He's done. Look, this league, it humbles you. You think you're good, and the next thing you know, you come right back down to earth. CJ is just having some humbling pie. I think they'll get it together. I think they have enough players. But really, they got to be able to run the ball. And when Nick Chubb's your running back right now, and listen, I think the world of Nick Chubb, but he's not that guy anymore, Rudy.
No.
They got to find ways, and they got to get CJ out of that pocket. Listen, that first week against the Rams, he was getting knocked around.
Oh,
and the Rams are a physical defense, but CJ's got to play better. They all got to play better. Slightly surprised, but this is the NFL, Rudy.
Yeah, Stroud and Lawrence are done mentally, and then Chubb, pause. Yeah, I saw that one right there, man. We'll get into more talk next week. Again, if you missed the announcement, October 5th, circle that day on your calendars. There's going to be a new release coming out, and it's a big collab. Does that affect Sweep the League? It does affect Sweep the League Network. But again, as more details come out, I'll be sure to share. I'm technically tied. My hands are tied on all this. So once that happens, we'll definitely be getting more information to you out there. But appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Be sure to go to Sweep the League Network or Sweep the League TV on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything that we got going, grading the market, and playing the set as well. So for Coach Joe, it's Rudy Campos Jr. Until we sweep the league again, we'll see you later, knuckleheads.